Summer routines live or die by how easy they are, and honestly, if something takes too much effort, I'm out. That's why Grüns is my go-to. It's my one daily pack of gummies covering my greens, vitamins, and minerals. Plus, it has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber, which is more than 2 cups of broccoli. No mixing powders, no giant pills, no hassle. I just rip open the pack and I'm done. They taste good and they make it easy to stay on top of my health, even when life gets busy. Save up to 52% with the code PODCAST at Grüns.co. That's code PODCAST at GRUNS.co.
It's your last chance to get gifts before the holiday, and right now at Old Navy, everything's up to 75% off with gifts from just $1, $2, $3, and $4. Buy online, pick up in store for free in 2 hours with extended store hours too. Get up to 75% off everything at Old Navy and OldNavy.com now. Valid 12/18 to 12/24, excludes gift cards, today only, 2-day only deals, register lane items, jewelry, and Zip Zap stuff gifting bins. Orders must be placed before 4 p.m. for same-day pickup, subject to availability and delays. Additional terms apply.
Welcome back to TalkNorth.com. Thank you for listening. If you can, please download before you listen. It helps our business. I'd also like to thank our producer, Brandon Morton, and let you know if you'd like to sponsor this program or any of the programs on the network, you can reach me at jsouhan47@gmail.com. Welcome, everybody, to Dulono's Pizza. Russo just walked up to me and said, let's bleeping do it. So I think we know what kind of show it's going to be today. And if you're at the game yesterday, as we both were, you know what kind of show it's going to be today. Michael?
What?
First thought. Just give me your first thought off the top of your head.
Well, Blue Cross Blue Shield sent me this bill in the mail that we're going to...
I didn't know they charged hypochondriacs.
Yeah, I'm going to send a little bucket around for everybody to contribute to the pulled calf that I was diagnosed with in Vegas a couple weeks ago that I ranted about.
Yeah, how's that holding up?
Yeah, well,
How many surgeries have you gone through?
The pulled calf is fine, but I got a headache from the bill. Do you know how much these hospitals charge insurance companies?
$1 million.
This is the problem with the freaking medical field.
They charge $1 million for everything.
It's unbelievable. So that is going to be the most expensive ibuprofen that I've ever bought in my life.
How much was it?
Well, my portion is a good amount.
Give me
almost 6 figures. Almost 4. Well, depends if you put the two down.
No. Michael's calling it 6 figures if you count the the place to the right of the decimal point.
Well, I mean, it's almost $1,000 it's going to come out of my pocket for freaking
almost $1,000 is 6 figures.
Yeah. You know, I told Dan Myers this morning, and Dan's like, you know what? Next time, take a freaking ibuprofen and take a nap instead of going to the hospital.
You know what? Dan Myers should charge you $50 to be your doctor.
Yeah.
You both end up much better off financially.
And the worst thing is I made like the worst I was like lying on a gurney in the hospital and made like a fantasy hockey trade with LaPanta. It's like the worst trade I've ever made. And I've made some pretty crappy trades. So
we've been doing the show for a few years now. How many of your stories, well, I was going to say, how many of your stories end up with you on a gurney in a hospital? But the question really is, how many of your stories don't end up with you on a gurney in a hospital? Are there any?
No, usually they involve a gurney.
This is the Russo-Souhan Show. This is part of TalkNorth.com. We are live at Dulono's Pizza, downtown Minneapolis, right by Ramp C. If you've heard us talk about it before, easy to get to, great pizza, great menu. A lot of the regulars here pretty much tried everything on the menu at this point, and they have no complaints. 612-767-9494 to order direct. Go to Dulono'sPizza.com to order on the website. Check out the website for everything else, including some of the raves about them and how they've been doing this for 60 years. Proprietary tomato sauce. Thanks to our other sponsors, Twill and the United Galleria, Tony Hoaglund, your State Farm agent in Champlin, Fixologyrepair.com, downtown Minneapolis and at the Mall of America. Thanks to our producer, Brandon Morton. If you'd like to advertise with us, you can reach us at talknorthpodcast@gmail.com. Please download before you listen and follow us on Twitter at TalkNorthPod. All right, we were there yesterday, It was ugly. Afterward, Parisi, Foligno both said we're not giving enough effort. Especially Parisi looked especially down about it. Is it that simple, or is effort kind of a cover-all for all the problems that are plaguing the team and the franchise right now?
What was your question?
I
Sorry. There's about to be some wild news. Huge breaking wild news in about 5 seconds.
Here, I'll do the Minnesota TV question.
Yeah.
Talk about hockey.
Huh?
Talk about hockey.
Talk about hockey. What honestly was your question?
Seriously, my question was: we're in the locker room yesterday after the game. They get stomped. Another loss. At least this one was to a good team. And Parisi talked about effort. Mm-hmm. And it's always a go-to in hockey. People always talk about effort. But is it just effort, or is effort the
Well, last game was definitely
overarching?
effort.
Okay.
I mean, the 2 games ago, and last game it was an effort because their soul has been ripped out of their body after those 2 previous games. I mean, you can't say effort was the issue the games before. And this is the problem sometimes when you get bad goaltending. I mean, all of a sudden now everything else is fractured. And you saw it yesterday. There was no structure to the Wild's game. They played like, it was... Last game, I think I've said this 1,000 times in the last month, which tells you the state of this team. But last game was now the new disappointment, most disappointed I've ever been watching them. And last game was just, I can't even believe that people are paying that. Luckily for some of the...
See Vicky's expression when he said that?
I can't believe people come to this podcast. I can't people listen.
But here they get in the door for free and they get to eat pizza. This is a much better deal.
Let me just get the tweet prepped. There's no big news, but they're about to call somebody up. So anyway, the thing with this team is that they just have put themselves in this position where they just, as one player said to me today, he goes, I have a feeling it's about to get ugly. And I go, about? I mean, you've won once in 9 games, about to get ugly. Like, I don't know. It's just, they're in a situation right now where really what the big unknown here, and I do think that these guys are scared of it, is they don't know what's going to happen. I mean, one player basically said to me today, and trust me, I refuse to take the brunt of the blame on this, but he basically said, he was your story the other day on that has freedom to do everything you want, even if it means we're not to make the playoffs. He's like, that is in everybody's head, like it's, and I'm not again that's on them to be professionals.
Yep.
And they've put themselves in a position where Paul Fenton's been given this green light to trade anybody and everybody. If they had been 5-0 this month, you think that would be? So again, that to me is on them. It's an easy excuse. I mean, Foligno said it after the game last night that all these guys, that there's a lot of guys in the room that are sort of waiting for the deadline. Well, again, get over it. Do you think the deadline was magically today, that all of a sudden tomorrow they're going to go on a 6-7-0? This team is not good right now. And so they've got to figure it out, because there could be some painful moves here in the next week or so. I think that last night Paul was willing to trade anybody and everybody off this roster. I still think that the most logical guys to probably go here, if they're going to trade core guys, are the Zuckers and the Coyles. But there are 2 things that I think Paul better be weary of, and one is Granlund, because Granlund still is the guy that makes everybody else on this team have an ability to score. And
you're just saying that because Mary's
and if you have a chance to get a Kaprizov here in the next couple of years, I think you'd want Granlund being on this team. And the other thing is it concerns me right now that he would trade Brodin. I think that he would in a heartbeat, and I think that Paul needs to remember that when this top 4D are healthy, they make this team go. It's those 4 defensemen that make this team go, because up front, I'm sorry, there's nothing special. So he's got to be scared of that. He's got to remember what this team did look like earlier in the season when Dumba was healthy, and Spurgeon and Brodin were a great shutdown pair, and Suter was with Dumba, and try to remember that and not overreact to something when you know that you're going to get Dumba back at some point next year. So that's the other thing. And again, this blue line looks this way right now because he decided they can't kill a penalty right now because he decided to add guys like Potato and take Nate Prosser off the team and move Brodin to the right side. So this is a lot of, mismanagement and a flawed team to begin with.
What was Modano doing here?
Good question. I mean, they're having fun with me now. I mean, today, I'm glad I wrote the story yesterday because then I show up at practice today, and then Modano's up in the booth with Leopold, so then we all would have had it. No offense. And then, I'm looking at them up there, and they're kind of like both looking at me laughing, Craig and Modano. So finally,
You get that a lot, though.
I just finally sent Craig a text message that just said, I'll read it to you. It was kind of mean toward his hockey team. I just said free agent signings are allowed before trade deadline. Modano would be your best center right now, just saying. And then, so he read it out loud to Modano, and they were both on the floor laughing. So, and I don't think I'm far off from that assessment. I know it's a slight exaggeration, but anyway. What's he doing here? I think that they're going to hire him at some point, whether it's now or then. I don't think it's going to be as a president of hockey ops. I think it's going to be a multifaceted role. He wants to get back into hockey. He is 100% willing to move here from Arizona, which is just absurd. Sorry. Have you seen Scottsdale? It's not exactly...
But people like Modano can go back and forth.
Yeah, exactly. So he did say to me at some point in the last couple of weeks, he goes, sometimes it gets a little old golfing every day. I'm like, well, then welcome to Minnesota. So anyway, yeah, it's just, it's one of those things where I just think that they want to have him in here to help out, be a sounding board in the hockey ops, maybe take more of a role. I think he would love to be the president of hockey ops. I just don't. The one thing I will say is I don't know if just being a great hockey player gives him the qualifications to run a hockey operations department. But it'd be nice to have somebody like that in the organization. So we'll see what happens. I think that it would probably be a multi kind of like faceted mixed, as I wrote today, mixed bag of roles, but we'll see. Again, I don't know if it's imminent or if it's going to happen after the season. It's certainly looking like it's becoming that imminent point right now because, I mean, he's here. They're not hiding that he's here now. They were hiding that he was here until I wrote it, and then they're like, well, we might as well just show him. So, I mean, he's just he's just sitting in the booth today. So I walk in the locker room, and every player's like, what the F was Modano doing? I'm like, don't you read? So I tweeted it.
I have a follow-up question on Modano.
Yeah.
I do want to thank Twill in the Edina Galleria, TWILLMN.com, or Twill on Instagram. I bought Johnny O, Barber, Peter Millar, Brax, and Scott Dayton's always going out, not only around the country, but around the world looking for new, cool brands. Check out Twill in the Edina Galleria. Again, it's in the Edina Galleria. It's pretty easy to find.
Jim usually doesn't like to shop for clothes. I don't like it when he shops for clothes either, because he used to buy stuff I'd want to throw out. That's why I'm so glad he's found Twill in the Edina Galleria. He likes shopping there because of the comfortable environment and the friendly staff. He finds clothes that actually fit him properly and are high-quality brands that will look great for years, whether he's golfing or working. Our favorites so far are Peter Millar, Johnny O, and Barber. We spend our money at Twill because we love the clothes and we love the no-pressure shopping. Drop by Twill in the Edina Galleria for the best shopping experience and best clothes you'll find in the Twin Cities.
So I have two different kind of contradictory opinions on Modano, or windows on Modano. One was as a player, both here and in Dallas, he was like the ultimate ambassador for hockey. He was always available. He was a great quote. He would talk about anything. He was engaging. But then he also had the Olympic thing where he kind of threw a fit. Give me your view of Modano overall as a guy.
Yeah, I mean, I've every time I've covered him, it's been from afar or via text message or when the Wild, if you remember, I mean, it's kind of interesting. His last year of what we all thought was his NHL career, he comes here at the end of the season. They throw a North Stars jersey on him. He does the whole lap because it was over. And then all of a sudden that offseason, he was kind of tweeting like, sign me, Chuck Fletcher, sign me. And so all of a sudden he was playing with the heartstrings of Minnesotans everywhere. And Chuck was under pressure to sign him and actually went and tried to sign him. And then next thing you know, he signed in Detroit. So that was my close-up, covering him, but the rest were just from afar in scrums, covering Stanley Cup final, things like that. Obviously one of the great players to ever play the game. He only lasted in 2 years as sort of like the ambassador there. I don't know what happened, but I do hear there was at a point a falling out, and then obviously that's changed here in the last 4 years, where they've honored him a couple times and things like that. Again, I don't know what his role potentially would be here. I do think that it's going to be one of those things where it's going to sort of evolve as time goes on. But clearly it's happening. It's just a matter of when.
I also remember covering the 91 Stars-Penguins finals and going out for a beer after one of the games and looking over, there's Modano, who looked like he was 12, sitting there with his parents hanging out after a game.
I mean, you always got to be careful with these type of things. Like, to me, you can't just step in and run a hockey operations department. Like, it took... Here's a good example of what the Wild have to be wary of. Is remember when Brett Hull went to Dallas to become their GM? Next thing you know, he signs freaking Sean Avery to a 4-year deal. I mean, that's sometimes...
Well, how about John Elway can't find a quarterback?
There's certain people that are wired to run it. Like, let me just tell you, like, when I talk to Eric Stahl, I look at him, I'm like, if that guy wants to run a hockey team one day, he's going to be able to run a hockey team one day. You talk to Ryan Carter, and you're like, if that guy wanted to coach, he could coach. I don't know if I get that from Modano, but I don't know him well enough. So hopefully that'll come. I think that if you have him in the organization, they're going to use him as soundboard. And as I wrote in my story today, and it was kind of conjecture, but I cannot imagine that he's willing to move his 4 kids, his wife, and himself to Minnesota for an ambassador job, to go and shake Vicky's hand after a game.
I'd move there. I'd move there to shake Vicky's hand after a game.
I've got to think it's going to be a lot of stuff. And it's going to have to be something to do in hockey ops. And I don't know if that's a bad thing. I mean, sometimes it'd be nice to have somebody in there to say, wait, what? Victor Rask? Just saying.
Well, I think it's time to open it up for live questions. We'll try to get to a few Twitter questions as well. But you know how it works. The mic is right here. Come right up, say hello, introduce yourself, ask a question of Mike, and you will have the floor. While we wait to see who wants to come up first, Vicky sometimes doesn't want to be there. Oh, she does want to be the first. Okay. Well, Vicky's on the way up. Let me thank Fixology Repair, fixologyrepair.com, 3rd floor of the Mall of America by Nordstrom's. Also downtown, not far from here, in the Skyway, just above Crown Bank, across from Dunn Brothers Pizza, Dunn Brothers Coffee, and south of the Wells Fargo Center. Fixology Repair, fixologyrepair.com.
There are some things in life that you just can't live without. Now, whether it's a special piece of jewelry, a watch, or even your smartphone, you want it in working condition. At Fixology Repair, we are committed to restoring your pieces so that everything works or fits the way it ought to. Watch servicing, chain repair, and broken screen replacements are just a few of the services that we offer at our 2 locations, Mall of America and the Skyway in downtown Minneapolis. Please visit us at fixologyrepair.com or at fixologymn on Twitter to learn more. Mention this ad and get a 10% discount on our services.
All right, Vicky.
Hang on, I got to time out.
Vicky and Mary.
Mary, I'm going to put on the payroll right now. Mary, it's up to you. So the news was that they called up Cal O'Reilly, which was something that they did not plan when they sent down Rao. So pay attention to Granlund's life right now. I'm wondering if something's up there.
In labor?
Yeah, just find that out for me. So, is she? Yeah. I mean, something's happened. She's ready to any second.
Is that the technical term?
Yep. So.
How do you spell that?
I don't know. It started with a CL.
Vicky's serious. Look out.
She's in a bad mood. I was mean to her on Twitter yesterday.
Yes, you were.
Yeah.
And I didn't even type that. My friend typed that.
Why is he on your Twitter account?
It wasn't a he, it was a she.
Oh, I thought you said it was Luke.
No, it wasn't Luke. But I'm okay. I'm good with the Modano thing. Because I don't think he would be like Gretzky, where if things got bad, he'd run away.
Yeah, well, there was more to that story.
Oh, I'm sure there was.
Yeah.
But
there was definitely more to that story.
Yeah, so anyway, my friend sent me a really good question this time. You ready?
I like that now those are text messages, not even DMs, are they? Oh, no, they are
no,
DMs.
They're DMs. Okay, do you think Vinton should and or will use his green light to send Cunnin and or Eck and or Greenway to Iowa to get them away from the free-falling team right now and protect their development?
Well, the funny thing is, I mean, it's not funny, but if Koivu didn't get hurt, these guys wouldn't even be on the team. I mean, it's just, Eck at least wouldn't have been back, which was, to me, part of the problem. But I think that there has been an edict from Fenton to Boudreau that if these guys are going to be here, they've got to play significant roles. But no, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that first of all, remember at the trade deadline, you have to put a reserve list together for Iowa, and I'd be shocked if Kunnin, Eriksson Ek, and these guys are on it, unless sometimes you would make that paper move just because you think Iowa's going to make the playoffs on the Wild if Minnesota isn't. So actually, I'm just changing my mind. Actually, it would be smart to put them. So you get a certain amount of call-ups after the trade deadline. A lot of teams, what they'll do is they'll actually kind of on paper send Kunnin and Eriksson Ek down and then recall them. That actually might be a smart thing for the Wild to do with those two, so they get a playoff run with Iowa if it looks like Minnesota's not going to make it. So I would say that there's a chance they do play in Iowa again this season, but I don't think the reality is that they would send them down for the purpose of this is such a toxic environment that you're going to get rid of them because you're going to destroy them.
Don't you think that Kunnin is doing better than Eriksson Ek?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm really impressed with him.
Yeah, but I mean, Ek's playing well as well. I'd like to see Eriksson Ek getting more chance. I'd rather him playing center than Granlund. Up on a top 6 role. I think that this is the time. He should have been in overtime the other night. I don't know. I like the way that both of them are playing right now, but they've got to continue because Greenway's been absolutely terrible here the last 3 weeks. He's been one of many. I would like to see Boudreau get back to that Stahl, Coyle, Greenway line that we saw before the All-Star break where Stahl was unbelievable. Stahl needs to get away from Zucker right now. Zucker's becoming a major issue, his lack of quality play right now.
Yeah. Just one more thing. I'm kind of jumping all around. Mm-hmm. Do you think that Modano could be one that could get into the locker room and do something
I don't know. I mean,
that?
The one thing I will say about Modano that he's going to have to remember is that he's not a player. I think sometimes with Modano is that he probably still thinks he is. So he's got to. If he gets this type of role, there needs to be boundaries. So I don't know. I mean, this team, they've got so many. There's a lot of stuff looming over this team today, which Foligno almost kind of let the cat out of the bag yesterday. But there's just so many issues inside this team right now that's just created this mess. And I think that. That it'd be nice to have somebody like Modano's influence in there, but look, I mean, if Stahl can't take it by the reins, and if Hendricks, remember, he was brought in to fix the locker room, if all there's bigger issues on this team, and we're seeing it now kind of manifest itself.
Well, I'd love to see someone come in that's sort of detached from all that, the Leopold, Suter, blah, blah, blah thing. But, Modano's kids are little. Now's the time for him to move if he's going to move.
Well, he'll fit right in. Actually, one of the Wild players asked me today, he goes, how many kids does he have? And I said 4. He goes, oh, he'll fit right in. It's like,
exactly.
This is the only team. It's like yesterday they had their whiskey event at Herbie's, and they actually created a daycare center for all the players to put their kids in while they went and did this. Like a lot of teams, that doesn't happen, but there's like 40 kids on this team. So, which is part of the issue. I mean, I don't want to,
Michael Russo is anti-child.
No, I mean, it's like you have so many other wives that are pregnant or newborns around that it's just, it was actually my concern coming into this season is that, look at this next 3 weeks. You have, in a row, you have Granlund, Patter, Spurgeon, Zucker in a row during this time of year. So these players have a lot of distractions right now, understandably so. Or the 6 or 7 players that have already had babies this year, and so we all this is real life, and it's an interesting thing that this organization is suddenly in. No player or scout or anybody I've talked to this season has ever heard of something like this where 12, 13 wives were all in the middle of a hockey season going to give birth, and I do think that it's created a lot of the issues here. These players have a lot of distractions off the ice, and then they got to come to the rink and suddenly perform if they're having to deal with real life stuff.
Next in The Athletic, Michael Russo rips motherhood.
It's not what I meant.
Well, it's going to be an interesting week coming up. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Vicky. Appreciate it. While Mary steps up, I want to remind you, Delano's is at 118 North 4th Street, Minneapolis, 612-767-9494. You can find their, you can order online also at delanospizza.com. They're open from 11 a.m. to 3 a.m., lunch specials, obviously full cocktail bar, craft beers. Oh, where did Mary go? I thought Mary was going to. Oh, Mary got her food. There we go. Fire away.
Yeah, we pulled the old switcheroo for a second. Sorry. So.
It's all right.
So I just got a comment and question. So with coaching situation that's going on this year, this is one of the situations where I personally am a big Boudreaux fan. I think obviously he's a great coach who's going to win a cup, whether it's here or somewhere in the league. And I really think he does. I think he's got as much out of this roster as he can. And I don't put a blame on what's going on him. And so I guess any chance. So my question there would be, any chance, he obviously kind of survives whatever goes on.
Well, he's going to survive for the rest of the season. Going into next year, it's going to be up to Leopold because, there's no doubt that Fenton's going to want to make a change, and probably with Dean Evison. I would bet my life, and it's going to be up to whether Craig's willing to eat Bruce's contract, and then if that happens, is Craig willing to let Paul have Dean as the head coach, or do you actually go out and do a proper search? So I do think that's, look, we've all seen this for the history of sports. When a GM comes in and inherits the coach, it usually is going to eventually end, and usually into that season or after one season. So, I think Bruce knows it. And it's created, that's another dynamic that's going on right now, is that you have the assistant coach next to Bruce. It's essentially the heir apparent, and everybody knows it. And I think that there's the belief that Fenton's getting a lot of info from Dean, and that that they're also making moves. Just look at the moves that have been made. There have been all guys, or most of the moves that have been made recently are guys that have performed well for Dean in Milwaukee. Well, the AHL is a very different league than the NHL. JT Brown's going down to Iowa right now and playing very good hockey. Maybe that's his level. Doesn't mean that Bruce wasn't a good coach for him in the NHL. Maybe that's his level. So a lot of times, if Boteto is great for you, and maybe that's his level, Kevin Fiala is somebody that I think the Wild are going heavily after right now. And, again, that's somebody else that's performed for them in Nashville and Milwaukee, but what's he done this season? So
for sure. And then one other comment would be, and I promised I was going to think of something positive. Let's go with the assumption that he who shall not be named from Russia is here in 2 years. If I'm Fenton, I'm building for that year, and if you look at the wings that we have on this team that are obviously are underperforming. Let's say they bounce back. Granlund, Parisi are still around, whatever the case may be. There's still enough I think on this team that would really be good again in a few years. And I'll say I'm not naive. I don't know what they're going to do with the center positions, but if he can figure that out, I think this roster could be built back up pretty quickly. But
yeah, I don't know. I think that he's going to move some guys. There's some guys on this team that either they're underperforming. Parisi's going to be 2 years older in 2 years, so I would not stick my belief in that he's going to still be the same player. And so, I don't know. I'm not as enamored with the roster anymore as some are. I just think it's a tired. I've said this a couple times the last couple of years. My biggest concern with this roster is that they get tired of each other. And I think that's what's going on. I don't think that they have the energy to put in the work that needs to get done to make the playoffs when they all know how it's going to end. They know they're not good enough. And they've been doing the same thing, spinning their wheels for a long, long time. And I think that I think that's part of what's going on here. Yesterday it looked to me like a team that gave up. I think that those Philadelphia and New Jersey losses sucked the life out of them. And that's why I do think that this next month it could be very miserable here. I really do. And not to mention, we don't know what's going to happen in the next week with who Fenton potentially moves. I will say that I don't think this is going to be easy to even move guys if he wants to. Like right now, do you want Jason Zucker? Do you want, maybe Charlie Coyle, but do you want, right now, Eric Stahl looks like he can't play. And the other thing is Eric Stahl ain't happy the way that he's been treated this last year. So he's got this no trade list that is built upon playoff teams. So if all of a sudden one of those playoff teams actually want him at the deadline, to me, it would be a lease on life, and I'd be like, yes, send me. But, I mean, he might not play ball with Fenton. He might not. If Winnipeg or somebody wants him, or Vegas, is he going to be like, yeah, I'll go there for a month and a half? I mean, and then the other thing is if he's not, do those teams even – like the other thing that I wonder too, and this is just me as another GM, like if I know that he built his no-trade list around mostly potential playoff teams, do I really want to go trade for him anyway? Because that shows to me somebody that's like, he doesn't even want to play for the playoffs. He just wants to be with his family, and it's going to be miserable, and it's not going to work anyway. So, I don't think it's going to be easy, actually, to move him now. Because the teams that aren't on his list, that weren't no playoff teams, they're not going to want him. I mean, those teams have no need for him. The playoff teams do, but again, he strategically built his no-trade list around the teams that he thought would need a second-line center and a playoff team.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't do much.
Yeah, I know. It really wouldn't be shocking. So, Fenton's in a tough spot.
Good questions, people. We appreciate it. Quickly, we do have some hats and one T-shirt up here. Feel free to come up and grab one if you like. Just wear them around. We appreciate it. I'm going to follow up with you after this question about what you said about how Stahl's been treated. I'm intrigued by that. But first, you go ahead.
Look at that list you have. Oh, my Lord. Double-sided.
Oh, yes.
I think I'm going to go play in traffic after this podcast.
Well, the one thing I've learned about the podcast, try to ask the questions before Vicky, before Reddit gets involved into it.
Reddit.
So my question is, in your opinion, do you think Fenton is going to try to trade a guy he doesn't like for a lesser return?
Well, he traded Nino.
Yeah.
I mean, that's reality. They didn't love Nino, not personally, but as a player in that contract.
13 points in 13 games when he's on the right side, though.
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember, I got a Nino jersey, so I'm a little salty about that one.
Yeah.
Well, he's playing well. He is.
Yeah, he is. With a true number one center. So, yeah.
A lot of groaning.
Was that the question? Oh, okay. Sorry.
Michael zones out once in a while. Before our next list of questions, do want to thank Tony Hoaglund, your State Farm agent in Champlin. As I've told you before, Tony handles my insurance, he handles Michael's insurance, and he is now providing financial services. Google him, Tony, Hoaglund. Tony Hoaglund works out of Champlin, but he's easy to work with no matter where you happen to live.
Hey, Minnesota sports fans. This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Hoaglund. I need you all to ask yourselves this question. If you're in an at-fault car accident and you are sued for $700,000, how much of that $700,000 will my current insurance company pay? If you are unsure or can't answer all $700,000, you need to give us a call. State Farm has been number one in car insurance since World War II and number one in homeowners insurance since 1964. For a no-obligation review of your current policies, call us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at www.champlininsurance.com.
All right, the famous Shorzy. Is that what we should call you? Or do you prefer whatever you... Laura, did you say?
Laura.
Okay, good. Laura, fire away.
First off, I'm from Orr, Minnesota, so don't bash Minnesota.
What, Minnesota?
Orr. It's
That's
north
not a
of
real
Hibbing.
place. Orr?
Orr.
Like O-R-E?
O-R-R. North of the
O-R-R.
range.
Bobby
Okay,
Orr?
like Bobby, okay.
Okay.
Not like iron,
Yep.
like Bobby.
Yep.
I'm going to have
So
to
you
Google
can't-
that. I don't think that's a real place.
200
Google
and
it
some
for you.
people.
Yeah.
Nano's wife is from Hibbing, which is the closest Walmart to me,
Really?
at an hour away.
You didn't drive down here from Orr, right? You
No.
live here now, yeah.
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Population 339. 338 because you're here.
I went way up last time, apparently. It was 250 in high school.
Wow.
First question. Has the team hit rock bottom yet, or should I
I'm scared to say that they've hit rock bottom after where they're going.
They're
who
still
knows?
in
So, yeah,
the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
as
said
bad as it
to
is, they're
Bruce
still in
in
the
the
playoffs.
postgame, I'm like, a couple weeks ago, you said this is the last straw. So what the f is this?
Okay, I won't.
Yeah,
get
I don't.
any hopes up.
I mean, it's hard to quantify what rock bottom is.
And then the second question, because I'm not going to ask you all 7 questions I have, is Stalock trade bait for Seattle when the expansion draft comes around with his 3-year contract?
Well, I mean, it just keeps them wild from having to expose a goaltender. But I mean, trade bait. If they trade him, they trade him. I mean, I've got to think Seattle's going to be able to get. I mean, at that point, he's going to be 33, 34 years old, I think, or whatever, 30. I don't even know. But they'll get 2, 3, 4 other very good goalies. So,
Lori, feel free to ask another if you like.
I already gave up.
Okay, well, thank you. Thanks for being here. Mary,
you
how
ripped
you doing?
it up?
Thanks.
You ripped it up?
Boy, I tell you what, the preparation level
Yeah,
of
my God.
of the people who come out to our shows, it used to be people who stumble up drunk to the mic and say, what are they going to do? And now people come with like Unabomber manifestos and start, well, page 32, let's go. So Mary's got 8,000 word essay to read here.
Okay. Well, this is a question from Kyler Vasfaret. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing
Yep,
it.
Yeah.
Kyler's a longtime listener.
He feels that he possibly could be muted by you, but he's not sure. So he wanted me to ask this question.
One of millions.
Kyler, how much does contract and protecting veteran egos go into determining the lineup?
Yes.
I understand it plays a role, but recently Bruce said when asked about Eck and Kunnan, quote, if they play well, I will find them more minutes. Well, since that quote, those two have been the only forwards going. They both got some power play time yesterday, but were separated and at one point were tasked with dragging Rask around.
That's good writing right there. That's professional level writing. Tasked with dragging Rask around. I'm
tasked-
gonna feel
Usually
that.
I use the word saddled.
Tasked with Rask. At what point does Bruce finally just put his best players forward together in Parisi, Eck, Kunnan, and let them forecheck the other team to oblivion?
I mean, that's a way to go. I don't know. I mean, yes.
Thanks, Barry.
To answer the first question, absolutely. I mean, I said it the other day. There's a dynamic with this team that I think has blocked guys like from Nino from excelling, Eric Holla from excelling. And we're seeing it with Eriksson Ek playing well now. Is that now Koivu's not in the lineup, so he's not blocked out, so he's playing much, much better. He feels like he has a responsibility and a role. I was talking about that today. I mean, we saw Eric Holla score 29 goals last year for him, for Vegas, and that's because he's always been behind guys like Hansel, Stahl. Sorry, I'm laughing because I thought of something that somebody said to me today about Hansel. And Koivu, and then same thing with Nino. It's like he never could get above. But a lot of it is the dynamic that's created on this team. There's guys, this is why I would never sign guys to 13-year deals and sign 33-year-olds to major contract extensions too, because one would hope in that stretch of games that you're going to be able to get younger, better players to move above them in the lineup, but there's this dynamic that's created that they always have to be in that position, and then you have other issues that you deal with if they're not on the ice. So to answer Kyler's question, yes, and I don't think he's muted. So. I just miss a lot of stuff, especially lately. Such a landmine, my Twitter account.
Well, I miss stuff, and I don't have nearly the number of. I don't have nearly the activity on mine that you do.
Yeah,
on
I say
yours.
like even last night, like I wasn't paying attention to what the fans were saying during the game because I was writing the Madonna piece, and then but during my tweet deck sometimes during games it looks like a Price is Right wheel. Like if I don't look at the mentions right away, it's going to be. Gone by the time that I even notice. So, what's up there, Chris?
Boy, another questioner with notes.
I can't believe the notes that everybody's taking.
Seriously, we should start selling notebooks.
Look at the amount of writing you
40,
have on
50
here.
years of combined journalistic experience, so it's a little bit more. You're a little bit easier to deal with or get your prep. But anyway, you'd already touched on Madonna. Is that if they tank? And that seems to be the direction. Do you honestly think that's more of a smoke and mirrors kind of thing for the fans?
No, definitely not.
No.
This is not a PR thing. This is something that's been in the works for a long, long time. I mean, trust me, this is not something that I just happened to see Madonna at the game yesterday and wrote. I mean, I've been dealing with this since December. Just the smoke and mirror has been me trying to get to the bottom of the story because everybody's been kind of like denying. What was I going to say to you? It was on something else.
By the way, that's when you cover a professional sports team. That's how you know something's true is when they deny it.
Yeah, I mean Bob Ryan has a great line that says, "Always assume you're being lied to, and don't take it personally." Which is probably the second part of that. I don't take it. I don't. I
have trouble with the second part of that.
Yeah. I get. My mother called. Anybody want to call her back?
Chris, go call Michael's mother.
Yeah. There was something that you said that popped in my head, but I've lost my train of thought there, Chris. But anything else?
The second question was, if everything goes down in the dumpster fire, would you think it's plausible to shut a guy down like Suter, say, you know,
I mean,
you're at 80%?
Yeah. I mean, no. I mean, it's going to be up to him.
Thanks, Chris.
You know what you said, the tank word was interesting, and this popped in my head the other day. Like, of all years for the Wild to be this type of train wreck, it's this year. Like, are you kidding? Like, finally the West is there for the taking. Like, is there one team right now that you look at and say they're just 100% going to represent the West in the Western Conference Final? Like, Nashville is extremely beatable. Winnipeg, Connor Hellebuck's come back to earth. Vegas has been very mediocre. San Jose looks really good right now. Calgary has very mediocre goaltending right now. Like, of all years for the Wild to be doing this is the year that they could actually maybe do something if they get in. And this is the year that they finally, their window looks like it's just been slammed shut.
To prove to you that I actually listened to the show, quick follow-up before we get another live question. You said how Stahl has been treated by, are you talking about contract negotiations, or are you talking about Fenton,
I just think the lack of communication. He was subtly mentioning today how Ron Francis and him chatted for a long time before, and he had a no move then, so he controlled everything. But to go to the Rangers and how, the respect that he was treated, and I think that all year long, he just the distraction of no contract talks and all this stuff. But a lot of it's on Stahl too. Like, I don't blame Fenton for that. I think you should always treat him with the due respect that he's due. But Eric has not performed well this year, and if I was Fenton right now, I would not want to sign him to a contract extension either. I mean, he looks done right now. I mean, 8 straight games without a point, 9 straight without a goal. I was just thinking today as we were interviewing him, do you remember his first year here when every game he got a breakaway or two?
Yep.
And he's just a different player this year. He's not skating well, and right now he just looks like a tired, broken down player. But I think a lot of it is in his head too. Yeah. The reality is that everybody's playing poorly pretty much. So hockey's a game of puck support. Right now, you look at that St. Louis team, and it's amazing. That's the same team that we saw earlier this year. But that team right now, everything's just seamless. Bruce said it after the game last night. It's like they're doing stuff they don't even know they're doing, but they just do it instinctually because they're playing so well. And right now, if you got 1-2 guys on a line not going, you're all going to look crap, and that's what we're seeing right now. Nobody is playing well. It is just unbelievable to watch. It is. Next.
Hi, Michael.
Hello, James.
Way to cheer the place up, Michael.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep the mood a little down as well. But
oh, my God.
Sorry.
Let's talk about another team. Let's talk about the Blues.
Oh, God.
Vladimir Tarasenko. How good of a player is he?
How about ask another wild question? Let's see how angry we can make Michael. This is the show. I mean, this is what we come here for, is see you turning purple and pulling your calf.
So, anyways, I'm a huge fan of watching the draft every year, and I see that there's 4 to 6 centers in the top 10. What do you think the likelihood of us sliding into that top 10 to pick up one of those?
Well, I mean, the Wild might finish in the top 10. Let's be honest. I mean, they're headed that way.
Yeah.
This could be a miserable year.
Yeah,
can you imagine they actually finally do accidentally tank and then they don't win Hughes? Anyway,
that would be the dream.
But you're right. I mean, they've got the one thing I've said on a couple shows this week is Paul's to-do list has got to be intimidating right now from a new GM standpoint. I mean, long-term, he's got to be worried about where they're going with goaltending. Not even long-term, short-term. Like if Doobie, like it is now an issue where next year they got to figure out if Doobie's the guy. And if not, how do you react to that? I mean, that... Koivu's now coming off a torn ACL and meniscus. Stahl probably will not be here. Yeah. Eriksson Ek, I'm sorry. I love how he's playing, but if Eriksson Ek is going to be the answer in a top 6 center next year, you're going to be disappointed. So they've got now long-term problems and short-term problems at goal, in the middle, and potentially on the blue line if he blows that up. That's usually center, goalie, and defense, pretty much where you got to build a franchise. So they've got some issues to deal with.
And kind of jumping off of what you just said, with the potential of us trading a player for a late first round pick, even though it might be slight. Do you see us potentially going after a goalie, either trading back that first-round pick to a second-round pick early on?
It's all going to depend. I don't know who's available, and it's all going to depend what's going on. But, the way goalies are in the NHL, I mean, what's – like, I can think of, like, Price was a first-rounder, obviously. Doobie. But everybody else, I can't think of –
Vasilevsky, first round?
Was he a first-round pick?
He might have been first or second.
You might be right. I mean, but what my point is that goaltenders are such a crapshoot.
Yep.
That a lot of teams don't want to waste a first-round pick on a goal, especially when you have other needs out there. So a lot of it's going to depend on who's out there. There's who was I watching the other day? Just look at Binnington. I mean, here's somebody, he was a second or third round pick. He spent 4.5 years in the minors, and he's off to a 12-1 start in his NHL career with 4 shutouts. It takes time to become a real quality goalie in this year, and that's why it's like I get it with Wild fans wanting Kakkonen here right away, but let's all hit the brakes here. To get to Philip's question about maybe potentially Vicky ruining. Maybe sending Cunnin Eriksson deck down because of I think he was inferring like the toxic situation potentially here. The one guy I definitely wouldn't call up in that situation is Kakkonen. Like, keep him out of here, man.
I think this potentially could be the perfect time to take a risk on taking a goalie either in the second or third round.
Yeah, I mean they've got to figure something out.
Yeah, because we have Kakkonen in the works right now, and he's doing pretty steady.
Yeah.
He's doing pretty well in the AHL, and he represented us in the All-Star game and everything.
I do see them going, and not that they're the answers, but they are going to go hard after a couple college free agent goaltenders, including one about 3 miles from here. That's off the record. Don't tell Sarah. And then that's going to they're going to do that.
Is there any chance they'll look at Hunter Shepard at all? Is he still available?
No, you talking Miska or Hunter Shepard?
Shepard for UMD.
Oh yes, yeah. I don't know why. I think
I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's not. Is it Hunter Shepard?
Maybe I'm getting mixed up.
Yeah, it was Hunter Miska at UMD, but there's Shepard at UMD. I don't know if it's Hunter.
I was watching the prospects
but there's a couple local goalies that they're going to go after.
Yeah,
Robson, Shepard.
Shepard looked like he was doing really well in the summer.
Robson's the guy I think they really like.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hold on a second. I just got to text Sarah a couple things.
Yeah.
All right, we're good. You said Bruce is interesting, the way he tries to handle things. And he tried to sell us in the post-game press conference yesterday on the idea that, hey, teams can be down, they can turn it around, they can sneak into the 8th seed, and then they can win the cup like the LA Kings. When he says that, does any part of him actually believe it, or is he just trying to say whatever he can to inspire some optimism with his team?
It's a good question. I mean, I think more so the latter, definitely.
And by the way, you mentioned the Blues. What has turned around the Blues?
Well, Tarasenko, it's funny. I was watching him score that goal that he scored when Foligno screwed up yesterday, and Vicky and I got into it. And it's funny though that what you said there, and this is like kind of to go back to last week's podcast when I said how like part of my job is to be objective and I don't think of the players at that moment as like people, like, I hate to say it like that, but people, because my job is to write for you all. And when I tweeted the stuff about Foligno, my friend texted me and she goes, my God, you and Foligno are like buddies. Like, how do you tweet that? I'm like, because there wasn't one part of me that was thinking that, like, he freaking screwed up the entire first period. I mean, that's the job. And it's like, same thing with Doobie. Same thing the other night. Like, I think everybody knows that I like Doobie, but I couldn't believe the other night that he didn't fall on the knife against New Jersey. It's my job to write that. And that's why I got so offended by my loyal readers at The Athletic accusing me of not liking Rask and Aberg when I just want to be like, I hate on everybody. Like, there's nobody I'm not ripped. Like, that's the job. Like, like the person that said, oh, now we know Russo doesn't like Potato. Like, in that same story, I ripped on 17 players. Like, and so that's my point is that, like, I think it's pretty obvious that I like Foligno. He's the greatest quote on the team. He's one of the great guys on that team. But I'm sorry, you can't make a mistake like that on the PK when the team is dying. It's unacceptable. You have the hottest goal scorer in the NHL right now, and you stray to like I don't know. I just don't understand these mistakes that they're making. Marcus Foligno is a great hockey player. He sees 3 guys on the boards on a penalty kill, and one of them is not, and they're battling against 4 Blues, and one of them isn't freaking Tarasenko. You better have your head on a swivel there, because let's be honest, the Wild are losing that puck battle, right? They lose every freaking puck battle. So you knew that puck was going to be a major problem, okay? And then I just don't get it. And then at the end of the period, he tries to challenge Edmondson. He doesn't fight him, and then he turns around and takes a frustrating hooking penalty. And the way their penalty kill is going, of course it was going to end in their net. So that was my point. What was your question?
Doesn't matter.
Bruce doesn't believe anything. Go.
Okay, so this is kind of a Madonna question here, so I don't know if we can spread it. It happened before.
I kind of regret writing about Madonna now, Brandon.
Mike.
Yeah.
Jim, did Lou Nanny ever talk about the time that we'll try to go get a drink here at the Loon that's a few blocks away?
I don't remember that story.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, because I think there was a story where Mo was underage here and tried to snuck into the Loon here to get a drink here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think Mike snuck in a few places back in the day, and he had to get in on cred because he did look like a 12-year-old. He was the youngest looking hockey player I've ever seen.
Okay, so with the I know this season is going to be lost here, but with the 20-year anniversary coming up soon here, I mean, I remember that you mentioned the best team that you thought about the Wild here was in the 07-08 when they won the Northwestern.
It's funny. I've actually said I think their best team was 06-07 that I covered. That was years ago. I actually think some of these teams the Wild have had the last couple of years will probably overtake that one. But I actually thought that 06-07 team.
Was that the Gaborik?
That was the stupid year that they added Fedoruk, that they lost to Fedoruk, and then the next year in 08 is when they added Fedoruk and Chris Simon because they got beat by the big, tough Anaheim Ducks. And I think that it was mismanaged there.
Gaborik Dimitra team, right?
Yep.
That was a good team.
Yeah, yep, that was.
And that was the year they lost in Colorado, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, they played horribly in that series.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So, what would you think about the 17-18 with when you had Halla, Palmerville?
17-18, so last year's or two? No, you're talking
right before,
2 years ago.
Before the
yeah, that's what I kind of mean. Like, I don't know if I necessarily agree with my old assessment that 07 was the best team. I thought that year 17. I mean, the year they lost to St. Louis in the first round is the most disappointing Wild season because that team was ready to go on a run and then they just couldn't score against Jake freaking Allen. Mm-hmm. And so I agree with you. To me, that was tough. And when they lost Game 1, that was Bruce's first year. So you're right. When they lost Game 1 and they had 50-something shots and couldn't score, then it was it Edmondson? I think it was Edmondson that scored the winning goal. Edmondson scored the winning goal in overtime. After a couple of things happened on that. Coyle missed the point blank in overtime, and then Parisi turned the Wild were all over him in overtime, and then Parisi turned the puck over, and the next 2 minutes was helter-skelter for the Blues, and then they won. That was a disappointing year.
So if the plan for
do you remember that was when we asked Bruce how he was doing, and he's like, this is after Game 1. He goes, I don't know how the players are doing, but I'm a basket case. I'm like, oh, boy.
Yeah, he basically admitted that he was freaked out, and then he got mad at you. And
that was after Game 3.
Yeah, and the team. That
was after Game 3.
I love Bruce, and he's a great coach, but you could see why his teams might get a little uptight in the postseason after Bruce couldn't handle
early
one
January.
press
I met his lovely, lovely mother in the lobby of the Ritz in Toronto.
Did you rip her too?
And so I was jokingly, I said to her, I'm like, oh, you have a well-behaved boy. He's such a good person. We get along so well. And then he just steps up. He goes like, yeah, I've only been mad at him once. I'm like, all righty.
So just follow up here with like Bruce here. If the next few years, it's basically, I like to use the word tank here, but you don't have to. You're just basically trying to stock up here. Do you see that Bruce has an asset that other teams could ask for? I don't know if it still works or not here with the contracts, with coaches with contract. You know that Philadelphia still needs a coach, maybe.
Trust me, Chuck's not hiring Bruce.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you think about Anaheim? Would Murray take Bruce back here?
No, those two do not like each other. In fact, if the Wild lose to Anaheim on Tuesday, let's just pray for Bruce.
Okay, got it.
That might be the final straw to make him go. I mean, that would be a bad. If he loses to Anaheim and Bob Murray on the bench, that will be a bad night for him. He will not be able to sleep for like weeks.
Next question goes to Barb Rule. Thanks for coming up, Barb. I do want to thank Dulono's Pizza one more time. Make sure you have the address and the information. 118 North 4th Street. It's right by Ramp C. It's right next to a big parking lot. There's usually on-the-street parking. 612-767-9494. You go to Dulono'sPizza.com, order. I order all the time. They have a proprietary tomato sauce. They don't give out that ingredients to anybody. And I'm eating one of their pizzas right now. So Dulono'sPizza.com. Barb, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Sorry we couldn't make it to the last one.
Oh, no. Thank you for, trust me, I'm amazed that anybody came. That was hellacious last week, or 2 weeks ago. So,
not good. So Mikko is my guy. And so are we really seeing the glaring, what they're missing without him there? I mean, the face-offs, oh my gosh, that's just, we have no one that can win face-offs except
yeah, I mean, well, I do think that part of what's going on with Stahl here is not having him to help insulate him and draw some attention and things like that. But yeah, I mean, Mikko is somebody that shuts down other teams. I'm not saying that this wouldn't have happened without Mikko, but I will say I can't imagine they'd be 1-5-3 still. Yeah. He's an important player. I get why fans, he's a lightning rod of criticism sometimes. I mean, he's been here forever. So a lot of people kind of blame him. He's had the C on the chest and things like that. He's definitely not the perfect player, and he's taken a step back offensively. But what I've always said about Mikko, and it's to me an indictment on this team, and it gets back to I can't remember who asked the question at this point, but long term, I think Ben, long term, they've got to figure out what they're doing up the middle, because Mikko to this team is still invaluable because they don't have anybody in the organization that could do what he could do. So I do think that I'm not saying that fans should be like vilified or that us that believe in him are vindicated by any stretch, but you have to be blind to the fact that one, you don't have his presence in the locker room right now. That's getting in guys' face, and that is what he does. He gets angry, and sometimes too angry, but he holds players accountable. And then on the ice, he's absolutely the guy that no player on the other team wants to go against. I mean, and that's coming, that's when I talk to the Jonathan Taves of the world. They say that the respect level that other top players in the league have for Mikko, that have to go up on him on a nightly basis. I think if fans had those conversations with those type of players, they'd get it. The Kopitars of the world, what they say about him. The Bens of the world, what they say about him. They don't like going up against him. So...
Do you have confidence that he is going to come back?
Well, I mean, I think he's going to come back. What's he going to look like? I don't know. I mean, he's going to be 36 years old in a couple weeks here. But he's a stubborn guy. There's no way 27 games left in his career that he's just going to retire. 27 games left in before his 1,000th game that he's going to retire. He's going to absolutely come back. He's not going to go out on this term. I'm not a medical marvel, but I could tell you, knowing Mikko, he's not going out on these terms. So.
Thank you, Barb. Thanks for coming out. Barb. Appreciate it. Quick Twitter question from Ken Cutler. How does Zucker go from 33 goals to being invisible? Well, let's just go with that question. That's the best.
I don't know. I mean, he's a huge disappointment this year. It's not even funny. I mean, he just won't shoot. Not shooting well when he does. I mean, it's not skating overly great right now. I don't know.
From Dave Johnson, I'm going out on a limb and saying that Wild will never win a cup with Leopold as the owner. Do you think that's fair?
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
From Road Rash.
Spends to the max.
From Road Rash. Question from Mike. Other beat writers sometimes tweet pics of player X staying late after practice to work on shot skating. Are there any slumping Wild players staying late and working on their shots?
Oh, yeah. Like Nick Seeler was out on the ice for like an hour after the practice today. But like the other day, Doobie was out there for 25 minutes. Yeah, I mean, these guys work, they stay overtime. I wouldn't say that it's hours. Like today, a lot of these guys had to get off the ice also because Wes Wells and Ryan Carter had a clinic that they were putting on right after practice. Wild had a ton of stuff going on today, like all sorts of side things that they were doing. So, but yeah, I mean, they do.
from Zach Raskovich.
One reason why you might not see the pictures is like we get Bruce immediately after the first guys start to come off, and then we go down. So a lot of times when these guys are still out there, we're already in the locker room. It's just a different system now than when we were at the X for practices. Now, you have to go down 5-6 levels to the basement of the building to get guys. So it's, we're not just up there watching the end anymore.
The other thing is I know that, when they practice the X, sometimes Parisi would do his extra work before practice.
Yes,
So he'd go out early.
yes. Good point.
From Zach Raskovich, would love to get your over-under on the Wild having a 38% shot at making the playoffs. Just read Dom's latest tracker by The Athletic. 38%, is that about right or is that high?
I don't know. I mean, nobody knows. I mean, that's again the so disappointment about this team is like when healthy and when healthy in their mind, they're a better team than Vancouver. They're a better team than Arizona. They're a better team than Colorado. And of all years for them to just absolutely melt down like this, and one of these teams are going to make the playoffs, and it's probably going to be Chicago. I mean, it's just crazy to me. It's such an indictment on this conference right now that the Wild can win 1 of 9 games this month and still be in a playoff spot going into tonight. It's crazy. And that's what's so disappointing about it. What if they just had 3 wins, which would still be a horrendous month? 3 wins, they would be so secure inside the playoffs right now because everybody behind them keeps on losing.
Absolutely.
It's just nuts.
There are only 6 teams in the conference with a plus goal differential.
Arizona is actually starting to come on. They might be the team. Let's see.
Interesting. Let's go to a final thought from Michael once again.
I have no final thoughts.
Yes, you're going to come up with a final thought. Well, I thank Twill in the Edina Galleria, Dulono's Pizza downtown Minneapolis, Fixologyrepair.com, Tony Hoaglund, your State Farm agent in Champlin. Again, we appreciate Dulono's having us out and giving us a great space to have everybody come out and visit with us. Thank you all for coming out. I know the last couple shows were bad weather shows. People still showed up. A great crowd tonight. Thanks very much. And thanks for all the good questions. They really get Michael going. He gets sick of hearing from me, so you guys get to
here's my
jab
final thought. Look at the faces of the 40 people that are in here right now. I have depressed everybody. Look at these faces. Everybody's just got, honestly, it is like heads. This team is a draining.
The team or the beat writer?
They're both. But look at this. Honestly, everybody in here came in such a great mood, and they're going to all go home and want to just drive themselves into a brick wall. That's what this hockey team does to you.
That's a pretty good final thought.
Yeah.
Thanks again. We appreciate it. Please give Michael a hand. And
even Vicky's just turned around.
Vicky turned her back on you.
Pretty little city built on a hillside. Music in the bars and fire in the sky. We went to the beach and it was covered in ice. And I used to call it home. So much coming out, there's nothing going in. I know that you feel like you're never gonna win. Oh, but the world won't forgive